Welcome to episode 21 of Drew's Basketball Crew here on this Saturday morning. Myself, Drew Skyberg, bringing you your winning lineup on Fantasia Sports again. That contest is already open. Open it this morning right away. Get people in that contest. Again, link to join me is down below. And then it'll be one of the contests. It'll be one of your first contests you'll see. You'll see Drew Sports Crew. You'll see it and you'll enter. You can win, right? You can win the native fan token is what the prize is today. It's a 20 fant entry fee. And I mean, winner takes all. So keep that in mind. And again, we have a lot of exciting games. I originally wanted to do this yesterday. I was looking through the slate. I'm like, 6 games. Today we had 10. So it was like, it's worth the wait, right? So that was my approach. And we got, again, some games starting at 3 o'clock Central today. And then every other game's at 6. So it's weird. Keep in mind with your slates, some might do an early bird, or some might just be like the New York Clipper or the New York Knicks and the Clipper game there at 3 Central might not even be included. So I'd be interested to see what's all going on there. But let's get started here through these games. And we'll start again with New York and the Clippers. So in this one, big story, Jalen Brunson's out. Already confirmed out in this one. And then also Norman Powell out for Los Angeles. Really, I'm looking here is, can Emmanuel quickly keep it up? Or, I mean, he's taken a nice role with, again, Brunson missing some time here. You got to like quickly spot today. Again, Westbrook's the starting guard for Clippers. Still like that move for Los Angeles. Bringing Westbrook in. The weird Westbrook, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, like this team. Marcus Morris also with them. A veteran squad. But yeah, I think my favorite player for New York today is gonna be quickly. I also like Julius Randle's matchup today. Really do. Against Zubac and Morris. Really like his spot. Not sure about Los Angeles. I'd probably go Kawhi Leonard as my top guy. Which again, that doesn't really help many, right? Based on salary, but we have some better value in other games. So in this Detroit, Indiana one, I'm monitoring, teams like Detroit. I'm looking at the spread. I'm looking what Vegas is thinking a little first, plus with the injury reports. So what we see first is we see Indiana's only 5.5 point favorites. So I feel a little good about that, but there's obviously some blow up potential in this one. Again, people out for Detroit: Isaiah Stewart, Jay Navi, Hamidou Diallo, Alec Burks, and then Bojan Bogdanovic. He's out as well. So we're looking at what's going to happen here. So Isaiah Livers is going to be starting at the 3 spot for Detroit. And then Rodney McGruder is going to start at the 2 spot. Killian Hayes at the point. We haven't seen great production at all out of Hayes, so I'm still skeptical of that. James Wiseman has a really not good matchup against Miles Turner. So I'm stuck where to go with this Detroit squad. But I do think Magruder and Livers are going to give you your best value. And depending on how Wiseman's used, I'd be fine kind of, because again, Marvin Bagley isn't exactly your stretch 4, right? Or stretch 5 also. So I do think with Wiseman, if he's going to be operating more as a stretch 5, I really like that, because again, they're going to keep Turner in the paint based on that interior presence he provides. So, Wiseman might be your best bet with Detroit, but then also with the guards that are out, Hayes might provide enough usage where, he could shoot, 3 for 12, but he could maybe have some rebounds, assists, and some other stats that could actually make it a solid value play. So also Tyrese Halliburton, obviously you want to include him, pay up for him, but again, that blow up potential is the concern for me. Miami, Orlando, this game, again, 2.5 point spread also. So not that bad if you're looking at it like that. You got to like Paulo Banchero's matchup against Kevin Love. That's probably the one I'm going to highlight right away. Otherwise, in this one, Miami, there's not really any other guys that stand out. I like Tyler Hero's matchups today. I think he's got a nice spot against Orlando, but that game, there's not much there for me, like in terms of value that I'm looking at. Utah, Charlotte's our next one. We have some good games late in the late night slate. So it'll be good to watch. I'm sure if you're watching the Big East Championship, for example, we'll be watching that. Or again, the World Tour Classics tonight also. But right here, Utah and Charlotte. This game, Colin Sexton's ruled out already for Utah. I'm monitoring Mark Williams, who currently game time decision. I don't think he's playing. So looks like Nick Richards is going to get the start at the 5 for Charlotte. Also, Cody Martin's already out. So it gets interesting for Charlotte. I think, if Williams does not play, I like both the big men tonight, Nick Richards and Walker Kessler, both of them. I think you pick based on your spot. I think if you want to look for more value, I think you go Richards. But again, Kessler, you might pay a little bit more for, but I think it'll be well worth it here on Saturday. So that's where I'm at with this squad against Charlotte. Not a great team defensively. Over-under is 231. So that puts it in perspective. It's the highest over-under we got yet. So when we think points are going to be scored, we think points are going to be scored. Other guys, Kelly Oubre, he's got a nice spot with Charlotte tonight. Of course, right, with Lauri Markkanen. Could always include him, but I think those guys, Kessler, Oubre, Richards. Boston and Atlanta. In this one, 3 people out, Robert Williams, Peyton Pritchard, and Danilo Gallinari. So it's the same. It's, the 5 for Boston as expected. Also with Atlanta, nobody's out for Atlanta. So this game's, as it's the starting 5s we've gotten from both teams the last few, this has been the familiar starting 5. So in this one, I'm not taking Trae Young tonight. Not a big fan of the matchup for Young. I don't mind DeJounte Murray's spot tonight. Odds are you might see him in my lineup. Other than that, I'm looking more at Jaylen Brown tonight than Jason Tatum is my other spot. I do think DeAndre Hunter is going to be matched up against Jason Tatum a good chunk of the game, which might be interesting based on, if John Collins is playing, but I can't see Collins on the perimeter defending Jason Tatum. So I'd be intrigued to see how they're going to play matchups there, but maybe Hunter's on Brown, but I don't know. I don't know if I see it, but I do think Jaylen Brown's going to be, he's got a good spot tonight with Boston. So looking at him there, I also got to let you all know here, right? Today's Saturday and right the weekend, we got Point Brewery. We got some dyed root beer here. Again, special thanks to Point Brewery. Again, it's made right here at Stevens Point, Wisconsin. I'm not in Stevens Point. I'm in Milwaukee, but it's made right in Wisconsin at Stevens Point. Again, it's made with the purest water, all natural vanilla and root beer flavors. Right? It's got a hint of vanilla on the side with the root beer, and it's got a really nice taste. Again, this diet one, 0 sugar, 0 calories. And again, it's rich, creamy, and fun. It's Point Craft Soda. This one, again, does not have sugar, but of course if you get one with sugar, the classic, 100% real sugar. So again, special thanks to Point Brewery for, again, sponsoring, providing the root beer here today. So can enjoy some sports with some root beer. But again, we'll talk more about these games here. We got talk a few more of these. Again, 10 games today. So Chicago and Houston's where we go. This is one where we got a little bit of blowout potential. Javonte Green is out for Chicago, but with Houston, everyone's good to go. A little worried. Again, I think Chicago's got this one in the bag, but matchup-wise, I'm a little hesitant taking some Chicago players based on what kind of minutes we're going to be looking at. But Houston, I am looking at Alperen Şengün. I know the usage. I know it hasn't been ideal. I know the minutes. But I do think Şengün has a pretty good matchup, again, against Chicago tonight. And the other thing is when Kevin Porter and Jalen Green have played, again, his usage numbers haven't been as great, of course, when they're not playing. But I know I've mentioned a lot of other good centers, but he's probably like my other option, fallback option, in case you don't get anything I said about the other guys. Otherwise, I'd be fine with Zach LaVine tonight, honestly. I'd be fine with it if you want to take him with Chicago, but not really. Probably not going to include a lot of players from that game. Maybe not anyone. I think you got a lot better value at other games, is all I'm saying. Dallas, Memphis. So this one's interesting. John Morant out, Steven Adams out, Luka Doncic out, Kyrie game time decision. So we're stuck with what's going on in these games. I can tell you, Xavier Tillman is going to be pretty good value also at center. And I can also tell you that I like Desmond Bane tonight for Memphis. And then on Dallas' side, I need to know if Kyrie's playing. If Kyrie's playing, you got to take Kyrie Irving in this. He's got excellent matchup, good usage. It'll be really like that for him. And then also I'm even looking at Tim Hardaway at the 2 spot. You know, the other guards out. Looks like Reggie Bullock's going to play though. So maybe not a great spot, but again, Hardaway definitely is going to get a good number of shots tonight is really what we're looking at. And again, Memphis, I'm looking at Tyus Jones. He's played great in the last few games here. OKC, New Orleans. So New Orleans has a little bit of injury, or a lot of players out tonight, including Brandon Ingram potentially out as a game time decision. Jose Alvarado out, Larry Nance out, and then Zion Williamson also out. EJ Liddell also. But with New Orleans, we're looking at the starting 5. Trey Murphy's got to be the guy to headline for value at the 2 spot, especially if Brandon Ingram's out. I mean, that's going to be awesome value for him. Also, CJ McCollum again at the point guard. I think those 2 are probably my 2 favorite with New Orleans tonight. I don't know about anyone from OKC. You know, of course you can go pay up and get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but I don't know if it'll be like, is it going to work? Is it going to pay off tonight? I don't know. So not looking at OKC as much, but I'm looking more at New Orleans. Milwaukee, Golden State. So we're waiting on Giannis right now. He's a game time decision. I think he goes. With Golden State, Andrew Wiggins out, Jonathan Kuminga out, Gary Payton out. Looks like Klay and Andre Iguodala will play. But again, Wesley Matthews is going to be out with Milwaukee. It looks like Goran Dragic could make his debut tonight. So I'm probably staying off of Holiday and Allen. Maybe not Holiday, but for sure Allen because of that. You know, I don't know if I like that. I still a little skeptical with Middleton. I don't know. The Bucks, I feel you're taking Giannis or Holiday, or you're not taking anyone. I don't know if they have the value plays tonight necessarily. It's Golden State though. I think you're taking Jordan Poole. You know, you can take Curry, but I really like what Holiday's done in terms of perimeter defense, guarding 3-point shooters. Again, they're not going to be like following each other like a cornerback in the NFL, but I do feel Holiday's going to have good chunk of time on Curry, so I think that's going to be something to monitor. Grayson Allen also. I'm not sure how he's going to fit tonight, but Jordan Poole probably going to be your best bet for Golden State. We got one more game tonight. Phoenix, Sacramento. In this one, again, we have Durant and Shaman out for Phoenix. Nobody out for Sacramento. The over-under in this one, 241. A lot of points tonight projected in Phoenix. So, I'll, looking right away, I think you certainly got to – I think Domantas Sabonis is the top guy for both these squads tonight. And then I'll go Devin Booker at 2. Of course, you want to take, right, in center, Sabonis, Booker, the other star. But in terms of guys with value tonight, I'm probably going Harrison Barnes. I'll take Barnes over Herter or Murray or Kogi or Craig, right, those guys. I think Harrison Barnes is going to – at the 3 spot with Sacramento. I like what he's bringing to the table tonight. Not exactly sure about De'Aaron Fox tonight. Again, Fox and Paul, the two guards there. But I can go through and talk some value here. Want to highlight some matchups, reiterate some of the guys who I think you're going to want in your lineups tonight. So we're going to go back to the guys in Detroit who I talked about. We talked about Magruder. We talked about Livers. Both those guys at the 2 and 3 spots with Detroit tonight with all the injuries. I think having 2 guys from Detroit in the lineup might be fine. I'd be fine with having both in, or pick one. If I'm picking one, you might be wondering who. I'm going with Livers. So that's where I'd go. If Mark Williams is playing for Charlotte with no minutes restriction, fine with Williams, but otherwise I'm taking Richards. So that's the center situation. Here's a guy I didn't mention, Josh Hart. I do like with New York. Right now he's projected not to start, but he's going to get starter minutes. So it's a guy I missed, Josh Hart. Keep him in mind with New York. We're also going to monitor if anyone else is out last minute for them, but he's been in like close games. I mean, he's the guy who's in that lineup. So remember him. Tim Hardaway, I'll go back to him, talk about adding him to your lineup with the Dallas based on the reports and what we know that Luka's not playing tonight. Some other guys, Zach LaVine, mentioned him. Xavier Tillman, mentioned him as a utility spot. I prefer Brown over Tatum tonight also. If you want to pay up your stars, I mentioned Sabonis as potentially one of my stars tonight. Also Giannis, but game time decision. Jaylen Brown again. So those are like the main value guys. Otherwise, I mentioned like Harrison Barnes, Trey Murphy tonight. He's been hot lately. Those are kind of the main ones I'm looking at. Again, DeJounte Murray's another guy to pay up for. Richards I talked about, and then your guys from Detroit. So that's going to be enough to build a lineup here tonight on the Saturday slate. So my lineup will be up on YouTube Shorts. It'll be up on TikTok at Drew Sports Crew. You can find it on all social media platforms. We'll have it up right away here. I'll get that going. And again, I want to thank you all for listening and have a good slate tonight. Enjoy sports. Right, we have Selection Sunday tomorrow, so keep that in mind. And thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Drew Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.